lot of things out there about the size and all of this stuff, but people forget that Tank's a top 10 pound for pound fighter, and he's got power in both hands, and skill wise and technique wise, he's been doing this for so long.
This is the first camp I can enjoy myself and be back. My headspace that I'm in now is way better than what I was before, and that's the only thing that mattered to me.
I feel like Tank has the edge for sure. He's a real fighter, and got skills, high IQ fighter. Regardless of the weight, I've personally seen Tank, spar heavyweight.
Nobody saw Jake Paul taking on Gervonta Davis, a YouTuber and a boxing superstar in the same ring. Sounds crazy, right? Both want to prove they're the top dog, and the hype around this fight is massive.
Night and day, right? You have to understand, I went from doing YouTube and Disney Channel to 5 years, once to twice a day, 6 to 7 days a week, training, recovery, taking it more serious than ever. I'm just a different specimen. My body is filled out. I'm going into my athletic prime, and going into that and my body filling out, I just feel amazing and feel super strong.
Jake Paul has been bragging about his training for the Gervonta Davis fight, saying he's bringing in top talent and even knocking people down in sparring, with Shakur Stevenson helping him get ready. But shockingly, Jake admits something rare. Tank is dangerous. People always trash Tank for being smaller, but Jake knows his power is real in both hands. He hits like a freight train. Jake even admits he's a bit scared to step in the ring, which proves this fight is far from the joke everyone thinks it is.
Going into a fight that I've actually ever been, because I know how good these people are that I'm sparring, and being able to see how good they are and knowing how good Tank is, it's actually going to be my toughest test to date.
Yeah, I think, Jake, you could make the argument, right? Pound for pound wise, this guy's the most ferocious dude in the whole sport, couldn't you? For
sure. I think he has probably one of the highest knockout percentages.
In 90-something%. Right?
Exactly. And just his speed, his elusiveness, his ring IQ, his conditioning, he's gone 12 rounds so many different times, something that I've never even done. So he's going to be sharp all the way through. I mean, the list goes on. And so just actually being vulnerable for a second, it's like, this is crazy. This is scary. It's kind of keeping me up at night.
Jake, how do you prepare for, like you said, a guy who is shorter than you? How do you find a sparring opponent to replicate something that obviously, there's nobody else out there that's Tank Davis? How do you prepare for a guy that's different stature-wise?
Yeah, no, we have world champions. Raymond Ford in the 130-pound weight class. We got Montana Lovin. Shakur Stevenson is coming in this week. So Just sparring against guys on their level and people who have, been doing this their whole entire lives. But we're really focusing on speed and not as much on power. I'm not doing as much like weightlifting and all of that stuff. I'm actually trying to lose some muscle so that I have less weight and so that my punches are coming off faster.
Many fans don't realize just how tough Gervonta Tank Davis really is. From the start, he sparred with top-level heavyweights, and not just any big guys, but skilled, experienced fighters. And he didn't just survive, he dominated them. If Tank can handle massive, technical fighters in the gym, a cruiserweight like Jake Paul isn't going to scare him. Sure, Jake has size on his side and has improved a lot since his influencer days, but he's still learning the basics, while Tank has been fighting elite talent since he was a teen. The takeaway? This isn't a mismatch. If anything, Jake is stepping into dangerous territory. Tank's power and experience far outweigh Jake's hype, and anyone underestimating him is in for a rude awakening. Jake might think he can bully Tank with his size, but in the ring, it's skill that counts. Tank hits harder, faster, and smarter than most fighters Jake has faced. If Jake isn't careful, this fight could turn into a nightmare for the influencer-turned-boxer.
Or bigger people, like from middleweight to heavyweight. And the thing is, don't be surprised, okay? This is a photo. This is a photo of one of the bigger guys that he was sparring. But in the past, like maybe a few years ago, he was fighting a guy in Mayweather's camp. He was a bigger guy. I think he was like a middleweight or something like that. He was whooping his ass. One time he was like on live whooping a bigger guy's ass. He's just beating bigger guys like middleweights and stuff. He's done that in sparring forever. Remember this story? I've brought it up a million times and I've showed this clip a million times, but on Ellie set back, this story of this guy saying how Gervonta Tank Davis knocked out this heavyweight.
Tell me the story. What happened?
Tank, what's the one boy name?
No, don't say a name. I don't want to embarrass anyone.
Oh, no, you're right.
But tell people what happened.
Man, I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this. I'm like, I thought he died. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought he died.
Hey, I've seen him knock out some heavyweights. He might knock all the ass out now.
You knocked out a heavyweight?
Yeah.
How was that?
Because I hit harder than Wilder.
Now, granted, the heavyweights that Gervonta Tank Davis is whooping and sparring is not like, all-time great heavyweights, all right? And it shouldn't be. But he's sparring the level of heavyweight that, more experienced than Jake Paul, right? But Jake Paul has beaten those heavyweights himself, all right? I'm thinking that is the caliber of heavyweight that Gervonta Tank Davis is sparring, but he's whooping their asses. And that's a good thing. I feel with Jake Paul sparring Raymond Ford, to me, it looked like Raymond Ford got the best of him. It looked like Jake Paul was a little exhausted, and it looked like Raymond Ford wasn't. It looked like Jake Paul was a little disappointed in his performance, and Raymond Ford was trying to give him a pick-me-up. Like, just kind of letting them know. No, we do this and do that. It just looked like Raymond Ford was in a confident, secure place, more dominant place, the more alpha out the two in the ring, and that's Raymond Ford. That ain't Gervonta Davis. I love Raymond Ford. I have him on my fighters list. But still, I don't think anyone thinks he's as skillful or as powerful as Gervonta Tank Davis.
Gervonta Tank Davis has made his decision. He's done with 135 pounds. Too many brutal weight cuts and too much strain. Moving up to 140 pounds keeps him fresh, stronger, and ready for bigger challenges, including Jake Paul. Tank believes this is where his body performs at 100%, with better stamina and even more devastating knockout power. Some fans think the higher weight gives Jake an advantage because he's naturally bigger, but Tank sees it differently. This is where he's deadliest. He's not just moving up, he's evolving, aiming to dominate the super lightweight division and show the world a stronger, scarier version of himself. Jake Paul might be the first to feel the wrath of this new and improved Tank. He's confident, focused, and hungry, and anyone stepping in his way is walking into a storm. Tank's rise isn't just about size, it's about brains, skill, and brutality. Underestimating him now could be a fatal mistake. By the time the bell rings, Jake might wish he'd never accepted this fight.
Or had been throwing fits a few weeks ago when Gervonta had announced that he would be fighting Jake Paul I believe it's coming up in just about a month, or a little bit less than a month, and that he would not be, at least immediately, he would not be rematching Lamont Roach. So people went all up in arms. Shout out to my guy, Big Dog Willie, who even right now is claiming that Gervonta Davis is going to go try to fight in WWE or something like that when he gets done with Jake Paul. But the truth of the matter is that Gervonta Davis is coming back to boxing. He's always said that he's coming back to boxing. He said he's going to run off, get this bag real quick, and he'll be right back. Well, as you see, the 135-pound WBA, the WBA, where he holds his 135-pound championship, has not stripped him. They said that they were going to look into it if he had not rematched Lamont Roach, but nothing ever really came of that. So as of right now, he still has his 135-pound title, but I'm telling you, the way that things are panning out, I don't think he's going to go back down to the 135-pound division. I think he's going to go to the 140-pound division where really and truly all the smoke is there. Add to it the fact that when he fights Jake Paul, he's going to be fighting Jake Paul at a higher weight than he would necessarily be fighting guys at 135 pounds. You're probably not going to see him drain down for the fight. I don't think he's going to bulk up at all. But usually when guys play with their weight and they go up and allow themselves to fight at a higher weight or fight people at higher weight classes.
Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis is chaos waiting to happen. Tank stronger, faster, and deadlier than ever. And size won't save Jake. Don't miss it. Subscribe, like, and turn on notifications.